Hello and welcome to the Gun Locker. Now in front of me is the Snowpeak M18 in .22 and it's sub 12 foot-pound. It's quite an interesting looking rifle, I have to admit, and when I first saw it, I thought, hey, maybe this little gun may prove itself to be quite handy. Now, is that going to be the case? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. On top of the rifle, you can see a scope produced by Night Pearl. It's completely overkill with regards to this rifle. It's basically a £750 scope set on a £400 rifle. But saying that, I've had criticism in the past saying that the scopes that I've used haven't been of high enough quality. You keyboard warriors do like to rip into me whenever you can. That's a fact. So here we go. Complete overkill. A scope by Night Pearl. This is the 4.5 to 27 by 56i. Stunning bit of kit. Couldn't really ask for more. And what I'm going to do with this scope is actually release a review very shortly. Some of you may have seen a review being posted a couple of days back on it, but I've since taken it down for the simple reason that I wasn't happy with the video footage being shown through the scope. It didn't do the scope enough justice, nowhere near enough justice. It was a kind of a, I thought I'd try it. But when I watched it back, no, I don't think it's fair to Night Pearl. So basically, I've taken that review down. I'm waiting for some kit to be delivered that hopefully will be with me shortly. And once I've got that kit, I'll be able to give you good footage through the scope, and then you'll be able to see exactly what it can do. But that's a whole different review. Now, let's go back to the Snowpeak, the M18. What can I say about it? It's got some nifty features, and I was really hoping that it would perform. So there we go, spoiler alert. When I say really hoping, it didn't, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. You're going to get the facts and figures coming up on screen. I'm trying to do that to cut down on the length of my videos. So you're going to see a completely different format. What else can I say? Well, look, first off, let me tell you about what you get for your money. Effectively, the gun is packaged in a cardboard box. It's got a nice bit of foam inside, and it comes with an instruction manual. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. So let me open this up. There's your instruction manual, and that's the foam box. Okay, so that I can get rid of now. In the box, you also get some spare O-rings and what looks like a replacement sleeve that goes in the breech. The interesting thing is, this manual that comes in the box doesn't actually relate to this rifle in any way, shape or form. This is a single shot, .22, sub 12 foot-pound, the M18. Go through the instruction manual and you've got every other version of air rifle that Snowpeak does, except for this one. I should also mention that when it comes in the box, it comes in 3 parts. So the moderator, sound moderator, is included. I'm just going to take that off now. Okay. This is nifty. The bottle comes separate. As you can see, I'm just unscrewing that now. Come on, a little bit more. We're almost there. There we go. And that's effectively how you'll see it. Now, obviously, The scope doesn't come with a rifle, neither does the mount, neither does the bipod. So it comes in 3 parts. This I like. You know, the idea that you can actually, on a budget rifle, walk around with a spare bottle that's regulated, and just basically screw it in and out without degassing it is, you know, that's a really handy feature. You can really kind of compact this down into a portable little unit and then put it together very, very quickly. The one thing that is a bit of an issue is that once you get used to it, then it kind of sits in your shoulder quite nicely. There is a threaded brass inset at the base of this butt pad, and I'm assuming that you can screw in a grub screw, although it didn't come with a gun, that would allow you to kind of clamp it down onto the bottle. But that always makes me a little bit nervous because this is a pressurized bottle and the last thing you want to do is puncture it. So if you go down this road, please guys, be very, very careful. I certainly don't like the idea of actually clamping anything down onto a bottle itself. Aluminium bottle. Now, as you can see, 2 gauges. You've got a manometer for the bottle pressure on one side, and you've got the regulator manometer on the other side. I'm going to put that back together again now. It's very, very simple. Okay, let's see if we can do this quite quick. There we go, it's on. But just one thing to mind, guys, once you screw the bottle on, if you want to mess around with the butt pad, hold onto the bottle because you can easily unscrew it. What can I say? Let me start off. I've kind of jumped into this and I'm showing you features about the gun, but really speak, I need to talk to you a little bit more about Snowpeak, give you an intro into the company. It will literally take less than a minute, from what I could find of them anyway. They have a website, okay? You can look it up if you want to. When you go onto the website, when you go onto their About Us page, basically you'll find out that Snowpeak was founded in 1976. They're based in, let me get this right, Shaoxing City, which is in the Zhejiang, I hope I've pronounced this right, Zhejiang province. Okay. And for all intents and purposes, that's all you really need to know about them. When you read the About Us page on the website, it really is just a few paragraphs of saying not a lot, except for the fact that, you know, they're interested or they want to produce high quality goods and they want to service their customers. That is it in a nutshell. And I don't want to sound blunt, but you know, that's what their website says. It's a whole load of flannel, really. And the interesting thing is as well that even though this rifle is new, it's not on there. So I don't know what that says about the company. Yeah, I really don't know what it says about the company, but that's as it is. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I like to go through a set format. I like to break the gun down into design and build, accuracy and performance, and then show you footage of me shooting it. I'm going to quickly run through this because obviously I'm conscious of the fact that my videos take a long time, and I had a little bit of a, how can I say it? I put a post on one of the forums just asking you guys what sort of length of video you prefer. For the most part, mid-range, sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, you're happy with that. Any longer than that and it kind of turns you off. So, hey, I'm going to try and get this one short and sweet. So let's crack through it. M18, as I said, it's a military style PCP rifle. So PCP, pre-charged pneumatic. This is a .22, it's sub 12 foot-pound. It comes in .177, .22 and .25. So 4.5mm, 5.5mm and 6.35mm calibers. Produced by Snowpeak. I don't know whether it's produced in-house or not. I'm assuming that it would be, because Chinese manufacturers like to keep it in-house. It's cheaper that way for them. I'm assuming that it is. Okay, the stock that you can see, everything that you can see, I'm just going to assume is built in the same factory. With regards to materials, well, the stock is synthetic. As you can see, it's a kind of AR-15 skeletal style air rifle. With regards to the chassis itself, it's a mix and match of materials, for the most part aluminium. There is some steel in there. And with regards to colours, as far as I know, it comes in black and black alone. Now, when I scored it out of 5 stars for aesthetics, I actually quite like it. I like the look of it. It's very simple. I guess with all the Picatinis that you can see on it, it kind of gives it that utilitarian feel, So yeah, I quite like it. I mean, I scored it 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's what I did. My opinion. Okay. If you like it, fine. You like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. When it comes to features, now I've got a list of 66 items that I basically check off to see, to help me score the gun for features and fit effectively. And I break that down into 33 items for the stock and 33 items for the metalwork. With regards to the stock, it scored 11 out of 33. With regards to the metalwork, the chassis, the barrels, everything else like that, it scored 14 out of 33. So effectively, we're looking at 2 and 2.5 out of 5 stars for both of those. With regards to fit, actually, you know what, guys? It fits. It fits me really quite well. The one thing that I found, even though this butt sleeve is loose, and that's all the way in, you could extend it if you wanted to, you can actually adjust it for cant. So it fits the shoulder really quite nicely. Don't think it's intended to be that way, but it simply does. So for me, it actually scored 4 out of 5 stars for fit, but overall features and fit, it gained 2.8 stars. With regards to build quality, materials and the likes, I've given it an okay. I've given it 3 out of 5 across the board. There's nothing really amazing about it. There's nothing that stands out as being extremely high quality. Is it fit for purpose? Yes. Would it withstand some kind of being knocked about, some weather, some inclement weather? Would it withstand that? Yeah, I guess it would. Make sure you clean it, make sure you dry it afterwards. Then it should last you okay. The finish on it is not great, but it's there. The bluing on the barrel, it's, I've put probably 100 rounds through it today, and it's already starting to patinate. It's changing color from the heat that was being generated. So how long it will last, I don't know. I think it's one of those rifles that you're gonna need to oil regularly just to make sure that it doesn't start rusting. Um, Is there anything major to fall out with build quality? No, there's nothing loose. There's nothing kind of, except obviously the butt pad, but that's kind of beneficial in one way. There's nothing on it that screams really badly. The finish, yeah, it does the job. Okay, so for that, I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. Now the safety, actually, the safety is pretty good. I've got to say, it's above the trigger guard. You know, back is in safe and back locks the trigger, so there's absolutely no play there at all. Push the safety forward, and you know it's fine. It operates quite well, and it's an easy reach like that. I really do. So that's on safe. Did I have an issue with it? No. So generally speaking, for the positioning, for the operation, it gets 4 out of 5 stars. The fact that it's a manual, again, it's okay. You know me, you've seen my videos. A lot of people have their own opinions about safeties, whether they should be manual or auto. This is a manual safety. It's functioning. It's going to get 3 out of 5 stars for that. So overall, for safety, it scores 3.7 out of 5 stars, which is a good score. Right, flying on. We're going to go into accuracy and performance now. Let's just give you some dims to help along with this. The overall length of the rifle with the sound moderator fitted is 1090 millimeters or 42.91 inches. The reach from the butt to the trigger is 410 mil or 16.14 inches. As you can see, it's not fitted with open sights. It's got a Picatinny rail on top. The rail is 230 millimeters long by, I've got 20.95 mil wide or 21 mil wide. So respectively, that's 9.06 inches or 0.82 of an inch. The rail offset from the top of the Picatinny rail to the center of the barrel is 40.2 millimeters or 1.58 inches. And the rifle's weight, unscoped without the bipod, is 3.13 kilograms or 6.9 pounds. So with regards to dimensions, fit and handling, and this basically centers on its weight, because it weighs 6.9 pounds. Let me just check here. So we're going there, and we are going there. Balance is good. It's scoring 5. Sorry, get that wrong. So this is for the field. So let me just delete that one. My mistake, guys. Apologies. There we go. It's scoring 4 out of 5 stars. What I've basically done is I've just changed the way that I score this, because before, when I was looking at rifles, there was this mixed match between whether it's going to be a bench rest gun or whether it's going to be used for the field. Now, the scores kind of, looking back at it, counteracted. They worked against each other. So for a rifle to be great on the bench, it needs to be heavy. The heavier it is, the more stable it's going to be. Unfortunately, on the flip side, if you wanted to use that on the field, the heavier it is, the more awkward it is to, and the more lumbersome it is to actually carry it around the field all day. It gets heavy, it gets uncomfortable. So they were kind of counteracting each other. So what I've done is I've looked at the type of rifle and I thought, okay, you're not going to use this as a bench rest gun. It's going to be out on the field. So that's how I'm scoring this going forward. And if you get a rifle that's can work on both sides of the fence, as it were, then obviously you're going to get a score that's right down middle of the road. But this one is more favoured to the field. I've scored it 4 out of 5 because of its weight, so it's nice and handy. I guess for the most part it's the scope that's the heavy bit on this, because the scope, as I'm holding it at the moment, is I think about 700 grams, something like that, 638 grams off the top of my head. I could be mistaken, no, I probably am. But I'll give you those weights properly in that other review. But for balance, it's handy. It's a nifty little gun. You could certainly carry around all day, and because of this bottle at the back, it's sitting well in the shoulder. It's ever so pointable. No two ways about it. It really is a lovely little thing. It has potential. It has promise. I've kind of given you a spoiler alert already, though, in that it didn't actually perform that great. So it's a single shot gun. Now, the way you cock this is quite unusual, because here's your cocking lever. Oh, hang on a sec. So basically, you have to move the cocking lever forward to open up the breech to be able to insert your pellet. Okay. Obviously, there's nothing in there. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay. That cocking lever is ambidextrous, so you can unscrew it from that side, and you can screw it onto this side, because there is a hole there that allows you to take that cocking lever from there and make it left-handed if you want to. So you've got a truly ambidextrous rifle. It's just you have to get it into your head that you're pushing that cocking lever forward. And because there's quite a bit of resistance on the hammer spring, what I found the best way to do it is to actually make sure that you've got a grip of the pistol grip first, before you push into it, because otherwise, if you try and hold it here, you can pull it out of the butt sleeve. It does take a little bit of effort, and getting it into your head that you're actually pushing the cocking lever forward as opposed to pulling it backwards takes a little bit of doing if you're used to that sort of mechanism, which, to be fair, most PCPs, you pull the cocking lever back. Whether it's a biathlon lever or an actual cocking lever, it normally comes back, as you would do with a centerfire rifle or a rimfire. So this is almost counterintuitive, but once you get into the swing of things, it kind of makes sense, especially with a single shot rifle. Now, what else was I going to say? So, yeah, with regards to, I'm just going to score that one, sorry, and I'm going to score this. So basically, because it's only a single shot, it doesn't have a rose-free mag. That goes against it. The actual loading and indexing of the pellets, I'm going to change that actually. I scored it initially as 4 out of 5 in my head, but thinking about it, what I found with the way that the barrel has been finished at the breech is that it's quite sharp, and it needs to be properly crowned in order to allow that pellet to slip in a little bit easier and form a nice seal. It just seems quite tight with, at least half of the pellets that I tried to fit within them. It was a bit of a job to get them in the actual barrel itself, quite tight. So I'm going to score that 3 out of 5 for the loading of the pellet, the actual indexing of it. And as it's only a single shot, again, it can only score 1.5 out of 5 on that one. So overall, loading, indexing, 2.3 out of 5 stars. What we got next? So let me talk to you about barrel length. So the barrel length is 480 millimeters or 18.9 inches long. The barrel wall thickness is 5.63 mil or 0.22 inches thick. It is a button rifled barrel. and it is, as you can see, part shrouded. Sorry, I'm just looking down here because I've noticed on my spreadsheet or on my actual setup here, there's a few bits and pieces that I could tweak as I go along, and I think I will do. The moderator itself is 195 millimeters long, or 7.68 inches, and the diameter is 32.07 millimeters, or 1.26 inches. So it's quite a chunky thing. However, it doesn't really make that much difference on or off. And actually, what I found is that the rifle was slightly more accurate without this being screwed on. So that's why in the footage that you'll see coming up, this isn't on there. I took it off. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is basically show you the footage of me shooting this outside. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. Basically, I wish I kind of hadn't filmed it or hadn't shown it, but I got slated previously for not showing poor results. So, you know, you've got the whole review in its entirety. You've got a pellet test and you've got an accuracy test. So have a look at that. Make what you will of it. The target is set at 25 meters because I thought I'd give it a chance. And yeah, then we'll come back in here and obviously we can talk about it then. Okay, outside with the Snowpeak M18. It's a .22, it's sub 12 foot-pound. Going to do a pellet test. Now, I've topped the rifle off with a Night Pearl 4.5 to 27 by 56i, so we're talking a high-end scope here, and it's massively overkill for this rifle, but I've just received a scope and I'm in the process of reviewing it, so this is helping me to work some stuff out. That review will be coming out shortly. But we're back to the M18. First off, we're going to do a pellet test. I just want to see if I can find a pellet that this rifle likes. As yet, I'm struggling. So, but, you know, I've been criticised in the past for not showing poor results. Well, hopefully I can get something together with this. But it's, as I say, it's struggling to group. And I thought I'm going to record this for you so you can see. It does come with a moderator, but I found that to be absolutely useless, worthless, and I think it's affecting the accuracy as well. So that's off. And to be honest, I've not really noticed a difference in the shot reports. So, you know, I think it's probably just a gimmick. We're going to start off with Super Domes. These are 5.5 or 0.22 cal, 14.5 grains. I'm going to pick a target and I just want to group. Honestly, I don't care whether I'm near to the bull. I just want to try it and group it so then I can find a pellet that this gun likes. Let's start off. It's a single loader, and the cocking mechanism is unusual because you actually push the breech forward to release, push the cocking lever forward to open the breech so you can feed the pellet in, and then you pull it back. It is ambidextrous. You can swap that lever over to the left hand side if you want to. Yeah, let's see how this performs. So let's focus on the top left hand target. 5 shots. Well, that's off the target. Let's try this again. Not on the paper yet. And believe me, I have tried to zero this rifle in so many times. Oh, there we go. We just touched a bit of paper. It's the third shot. That went at the back of the box. And last shot. Okay, so we can discount them. Next up, we've got Premiers. These are the Ultra Magnums, 14.3 grain. And this time, just to see if I can get it on the paper, I'm going to aim for the center target. Okay, so that was high and left. That was high and straight above. Not sure where that one went. Okay, high again. All right, so they're all high, and we're probably looking at a 3-inch group there. That's not bad. At least I can find it on the paper. So let's try. Oops. And I should mention, by the way, guys, the targets are courtesy of the Airgun Target Company. Check their website out. I do have a discount code if you want to purchase some of their targets. So I'll drop that in the description below. So next up, we've got Victory Shock 0.22. These are 14.6 grains. I'm going to go for the same center target because, to be honest, there are no pellets near it. Okay, that was a bit closer. Whoa, massively high, that one. Wow, I've actually got a pellet that's hit the target. Last one. That's probably just a fluke. Yeah, I don't know where that one's gone. Well, I had success with one pellet there. Let's try some Jazz B Match Diablo Hades 0.22. These are 15.89 grains. And this time I'm going to change my point of aim to the very small target below the center one. Again, shooting high. Okay. So let me just try something else here. I thought I'd be smart. I thought I'd make an adjustment on the scope and actually aim or aim below the target by 2 mil dots. And the pellet's gone exactly where the crosshairs are. So yeah, let's try one more with the crosshair actually on the target without making any allowance. Not sure where that one went. Try another. And that shot slightly left of the target. Right, I'm going to go and swap the paper over and we'll try some more. Okay, so I've changed the paper. Next up, we've got the Jazz B Match Diablo Exacts. These are 15.89 grain. Fresh piece of paper, we'll see if it makes any difference whatsoever. Oops. Right. And again, we'll go for that center target. See if we can at least get some grooves. These are really tight into the barrel. Honestly, no idea where that one went. So that's almost 4 mil dots high. And you would have thought with a heavier grain pellet that it would be dropping as opposed to gaining elevation. That was to the left and high. Yeah, that's again 4 mil dot high and screaming over to the left. 2 pellets almost touching. Okay. Now, like I say, I mean, it would be nice if it was, you know, where where the scope had been zeroed to. It'd be lovely if it was. But I'm just trying to find a group at the moment. If I can get a group, then obviously I'll reset the scope. But currently we've gone through 5 lots of pellets and it's rubbish. I'm not happy with it at all. Next up, we've got the H&N Field Target Trophies. These are 14.66 grain. Let's go for that center target again. Not sure where that hit. Okay, I see now. That's screaming over to the right. About 1 o'clock. Again, 4mm dots high. Not sure where that went. Right, so they seem to be grouping about 3.5mm high at the moment. Interesting. Just going to make an allowance to see whether that's actually the case. So I'm going to aim for the small target beneath the center one. I'm going to allow 3.5mm drop and we'll see what happens. Try that again. Wow. Wow. Could just see that pellet spin and fly over to the left there. Okay. So we can forget these. I've got to say they are very, very tight going into the end of the barrel. It's as if it could do with recrowning just to help that pellet feed in a little bit. Let's go for my favourites, the LRGs, Bisley Long Range Goals, 5.5mm. And then, to be honest, if I can't group with these, I'm going to call it because it's getting to the point now where I'm just throwing pellet away. So I'm going to go for the center target again. All right, we're shooting 3.5mm dots high. Let's see if I can do something with this. Oh, I'm getting possibly a bit of a group. And then again it goes to pot. One more. Okay. So we've got 7 pellets that we've gone through, and I've got a 2-inch group. Bear in mind that this is only at 25 meters. You know, it should be an awful lot tighter than that. Let me try one last tin. We'll go with the Crossman hollow points. And we'll see if they can do anything. To be honest, I'm not even sure where that one went. So I'm now aiming at the bottom small target. Oh, okay, I see. These are shooting to the right. 2.5mm dots up. Okay. Just going to try something. So that small target underneath the center one. If I can get anywhere close with this shot, then I will try for an accuracy test using these pellets. Right, well that's at the right elevation, but it's way over to the right. It's at 3 o'clock. One more. I don't want to give up on the gun, but one more. I'm getting pretty close. Same target. Tiny little one. Okay, interesting. One more. Same target. It's a bit high. What should we do, guys? These have performed the best so far by a long way. How about I do an accuracy test just for the fun of it and see what happens? I'll set up a new piece of paper down there. I'll put a pellet in the 4 outer targets, and then we'll do a group of 5 pellets on the center target like I normally do, and we'll see how it performs. Maybe I'll be able to get to something to score, at least for the gun. Could be that it's extremely pellet fussy and it just likes these. We'll find out. Okay, against all the odds, I'm going to go for an accuracy test, and I'm going to use the Crossman Premium Hollow Points 14.3 grain. On the bit of paper down there, I'm going to put 1 pellet in each of the outer targets. I'm going to start top left, top right, bottom left, and then I'm going to do a 5 pellet group in the center target. So let's see how it performs. Oh wow. Okay, if I was going for the top center target, I'd be reasonably happy with that. Top right target. That's 9 o'clock, just within the box. Bottom right target. Not sure where that one went. Bottom left target. Okay, now for the group of 5 in the center target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, whoa, saw that one veer off. Right, guys. There you have it, the Snowpeak M18. I was really hopeful that this might change my opinion of Snowpeak. I did a review on the M40S, and to be honest, that was atrocious. That was really bad. But I thought, it could just be the gun. But again, guys, I'm reviewing this gun. If you've got an M18 it's shooting perfectly well for you, well, hey, happy days. This is me trying to get some sort of a group out of a rifle and struggling, really, really struggling. The trigger, I've got to say, is awful. There's no adjustment to it, and it's so hard and so kind of just unpredictable, I guess. And the rest of it you can see. I mean, I've tried different pellets. Now, all of these pellets have performed well in the other reviews that I've done, and I could get half decent groups. Can't blame the scope, because the scope is 750 quid. It's more than 2.5 times the price of the gun. Yeah, it's a real shame. I'll tell you what, I'll catch you back inside and we can have a proper chat about this gun. Okay, so you've seen the footage of me shooting this rifle outside, and yeah, what can I say? I was so hoping to get some decent results out of this, because the last Snowpeak that I reviewed, it did really, really badly. So I thought, you know what, a nice simple little gun, please shoot well for me. It didn't. What can I say? It just didn't. It was shooting like a shotgun. It was scattering pellets everywhere. I was really quite frustrated about it. And before anybody asks, did I clean the barrel out before I used it? Yes, I did. I polished it. I cleaned it out properly. There was well over a dozen jags that went through. I looked at it. I put a light source down the barrel so I could properly see. I polished it. It was as clean as it could possibly be. And then I put a shed load of pellets through it as well, prior to what you've seen me shoot, in order to try and lead it. And then, of course, I started shooting it. Now, those purists out there will say, well, if you're changing pellets, then you should shoot at least 100 pellets through it of each type. I'm not going to do that, because, to be fair, the amount of reviews that I've got to do, it would cost an absolute fortune. I'm just throwing pellets away. So, lead is expensive now. It really is. And I can only give you as best as I can afford, effectively. Now, what I will say is that when it came down to shooting this, obviously I've got a high-end scope on top of it. I did try actually using a different scope before I put this one on. In all honesty, I used the Commander, One Leaf Commander MV400, because I wanted to film the shots. The problem was the rifle was scattering so much that it took me a little bit of time to try and zero in the scope, because there's a digital scope. You've got to go into the menu, you've got to go for the shot zero, you've got to reset. And each time I was using a different pellet, I was having to reset it to try and get it somewhere near, and it just did my head in. It really did. And the video footage of it, to be fair, it wasn't worth putting it on screen. So I thought, no, I'm going to go back to basics. I'm going to put a very nice scope on it, but I'm going to put a manual scope on it where I know exactly how it's going to perform. At least this part of it's going to be consistent. Whatever the rifle does, the rifle will do, and then I'll make a judgment as to whether I'm going to hold over, hold under, whatever I need to do to try and get the best shot as I possibly can out of it. As you saw from the results, I went through over half a dozen tins of pellets. It is extremely pellet fussy, and at the end of the day, I opted for the Crossman Premier Hollow Points, just purely because I got some semblance of a group. It wasn't great. from the accuracy test, you'll see it there. Actually, if I put it this way around, you'll probably see it better. You know, it is scattered. It was just horrible, absolutely horrible. And it's hard when you shoot a rifle that's performing poorly, because then every doubt pops into your mind. Is it you? Is it the way that you're handling the trigger, or you're squeezing the trigger? Is it your breathing? Is it, it just messes with your mind, and it messes with confidence. But when you've got high-end optics, and when you can actually see that your breathing isn't affecting your point of aim because those crosshairs aren't moving, it's just when you take the shot, the pellet is veering, it's doing this, that, and God knows what, then, you just have to trust your own abilities. I know I can shoot well. I've proven to you guys that I can shoot well. This makes me feel as if I can't shoot at all. And that's a sorry state of affairs. So how did it perform? Well, look, the closest I could get to my point of aim was 17.22 millimeters. Which one was it? I think it was, let me have a look. Yeah, it was that shot there. So 17.2 mil away. The furthest from point of aim was this shot here. That was the point of aim. That's where it landed. Okay. And that was 49.59 mil. And then the group size, whatever I could possibly make of the group size, was 66 millimeters. This is 25 meters away. It's just appalling. Would I use this, for vermin control? Absolutely not. I've got no idea where that pellet is going to go. I just wouldn't do it. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's an accurate rifle at all. You're more likely to maim the animal than you are to dispatch it cleanly. For that, I would say absolutely no way would I take it out on the field. And it's just such a shame, because it lends itself to being a cracking little gun if they could sort this out. But, maybe the performance is so poor on it that Snowpeak have realised, and that's why the M18 isn't in the instruction manual. Okay, and maybe that's why it's not on their website. So how did it score? Well, with regards to closest to the ball, it got 3 out of 5. With regards to furthest away from the ball, it scored 0. A group test scored 0. And with regards to it being pellet fussy, well, it scored half a star out of 5. So all told, and I've never had this before, as an accuracy test, it scored 0.9 of a star. It's really, really low. Really, really low. Right. What do I think of the trigger? Pretty poor. I've scored it 1 out of 5. It is very stiff. There's no real kind of, well, it is a 2-stage trigger, but only you've got very short kind of travel on the first stage, and then you can feel there's slightly more resistance on the second stage, and then that is quite firm. It really is, but it is quite a stiff trigger, so you kind of having to squeeze quite hard. That could do with loosening off no end. Can you get to it to adjust it without taking it out of the trigger? No, you can't. You just can't get to anything to adjust it this way. It's all covered. So you'd have to take it out of the grip, and you'd have to kind of disassemble it in order to be able to adjust it. If you guys know what you're doing, go for it. This is a new rifle. I'm not prepared to do that. What else can I say? Power output. So when I ran it over the Crony, it scored, well, it actually came out with an average of 9.1 foot-pounds worth of energy, or 12.34 joules. So the Crony results were anything from, the fastest was 509.5 feet per second, the slowest was 502.6 feet per second, using Diablo Field 16 grain pellets as I say, it kicks out 9.1 foot-pound of energy. Again, if you're using it out on the field, it's a bit low, and this is kind of close quarter vermin control, so I wouldn't go any further than 25 meters with it, and that's why the target was set at 25 meters, because I thought I'd give it a fair crack. However, saying that, you've seen the results. That is not good. It's not good. So, you know, it basically it fails to hit the target. It's as simple as that. Talking about power output, though, you know, anything over £9, I guess, is okay. So I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I think that's generous, probably 2.5, but yeah, I'm scoring it 3 out of 5 stars. It's fairly consistent. You know, there was a spread of just under 7 foot-pound. 7 feet per second on the run that I did. It's fairly consistent, so the regulator obviously is working, but it's a bit low. I would rather it be in the 11s as opposed to in the low 9s. And that would probably improve its accuracy, to be honest, if it can get a faster spin rate down the barrel. Possibly, you know, who knows? So for power, it gets 3 out of 5. For air, now let me just, yeah, for shot count and efficiency, well, you can fill this up to 250 bar max. Okay, I took it up to 240 bar because I don't want to push anything to its limits. And the regulator is set at 115 bar. Now I shot this from 240 down to 160, and I recorded 59 shots. So if you extrapolate those figures, for a full fill of 250 bar, taking it down to the reg pressure of 115 bar, where it would drop off, then I reckon you should be able to get 100 shots out of a fill. That, for such a large bottle, 350cc bottle, is a very, very low count. You know, it's in today's kind of scene, I would be expecting somewhere in the region of 200, 250 shots out of that. So it scores an okay 3 out of 5. It's definitely not a 4 or a 5, that's for sure, because it's just simply not efficient. It's kicking out 0.7 shots per bar of fill pressure. I would rather see, you know, 1.5 to 2 shots per bar. So efficiency, somewhere along the line, is either pushing out too much air behind the pellet, and that may explain why I've seen some tumbling, or it's escaping somewhere within the breech. I'm not sure. It seems to be quite loud when you shoot it, and the moderator doesn't seem to make any difference to me, so that could explain that there's air escaping somewhere within the breech. I don't know. But I've given it, for shot count and efficiency, a score of 2.8 out of 5 stars. Noise levels, as I say, screw this on and it's kicking out 86 decibels. Without it, to be honest, it's just as loud. This really isn't doing much. It's okay. It's kicking out 3 out of 5 stars. That's it. I guess when it comes down to it now, we're going to talk about value for money. So how much is this rifle worth? Or how much is it on sale for? Currently, as I'm speaking today, the cost of this rifle is £399 new. Obviously, if you were to buy this as your first rifle, you would need to set yourself up with an air supply, so that could be a pump, but after a short while you'll find out that you'll be getting a bottle, because a pump is just way too much effort to fill in, especially when you're talking about large size cylinders. It would just take you forever and a day to fill it, unless you get a very good pump, but a very good pump is going to cost you just short of £200. Your standard 25 quid foot pump, oh no, I wouldn't even attempt it, not on one of these. A cylinder, yes, but not on a bottle. So when we think about, how much is it going to cost you, the rifle's £400, so 399. You can basically put another £370 on top of that. You'd be looking £150 for a scope, or if it performed well, you'd be looking at half decent scopes, so say 150 quid. This is £750. Your bottle is for a 7 litre bottle is about £200 now, 205 to 220, somewhere along that region, but say £200 for a bottle and 20 quid for a tin of pellets, or two if you're lucky. So all told, £769. Is it good value for money? Well, £769 to get you something that's a PCP shooting, including a scope, including a bottle, including some pellets, that's not a lot of money. But is it good value for money? When you tie those figures up to these results, then it's scoring 1.5 out of 5 stars, unfortunately. That tells me that no, it's not good value for money. And would I buy it on the strength of these results? Unfortunately, no, I wouldn't. So there you go, guys. That's the review done of the Snowpeak M18. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've tried to be as honest as I possibly can. I don't know what else to say. I just wish it performed better than it did. Well, for now, until next time, please stay safe, shoot safe, take care of yourselves, all of that sort of stuff. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Numbers helps in this game. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you've seen, and share amongst your friends and family. As always, take care. Bye-bye.